Health Nibble number 16, and this is an interview with Gail. She's been coming in for a while, and she has a really a neat case. And I know that, you know, when we go do these workshops down in Fort Wayne, and we do them on thyroid and autoimmunity, it's just, you know, there's 100 people in the room, and I ask how many have more than one form of autoimmunity, and all the hands raise up, because that's what happens. Because if you understand the way the body works, your body's made up of cells, and when those cells become inflamed and the cell membranes get toxins in them, like lead and mercury and toxins from plastics and toxins from environmental chemicals, it causes all the systems to screw up. And what it does is it turns on genes for autoimmunity, it causes high blood pressure, it causes chronic pain, it causes neurological problems, ends up dementia, Alzheimer's, you name it. So this is a pretty interesting case. So Gail actually came into the office. She has a failed back surgery, so a lot of osteoarthritis, double knee replacement, and then as we go through the history, and I had to write all this down. We just went through it, didn't we?
Yes.
So here we go. So she's on 9 different meds, or maybe 8 now. In the Humira, we had you were off of that since 2014, so that would have been the 9th. But blood pressure problems, and you're not alone. I mean, this is like our average retiree that comes in. Insulin resistance, hypothyroid, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, and as I said before, failed back surgery, and knee replacements. And so, you know, I guess when we were just talking, tell them some of the things that you're dealing with. You said you just had chronic pain all the time. It's hard to get through the day. How?
Constant pain.
Constant pain.
I haven't had.
She came in on a cane. She's not using a cane.
I'm not on a cane anymore. No.
Yeah.
For about 2 weeks now, I've been off the cane.
Yeah.
But started in about 1979, right after I was married, and started with actually lupus.
Oh yeah, lupus.
I forgot about lupus.
I forgot about lupus too.
Yeah, we did. I did, just
yeah,
until now.
Yeah.
That's where it started.
Started with lupus.
Yeah,
I can't believe I forgot that.
It took 2 years to diagnose that, with one medicine after another medicine after another medicine. It went from lupus into, I guess, I forget the progression, but I think it was the fibromyalgia.
Yeah.
And then the left knee was extremely bad, and so that's when they diagnosed me with the not only osteo but rheumatoid arthritis. He said something about the fluids in the knee. I don't know. I don't have a clue. But and so I was diagnosed with both of those, and then came the fibromyalgia, and so I haven't been out of pain since about 1979.
And then hypothyroid.
Yes. I've had a low thyroid for all those years. I've been on methotrexate since about 1981, 82, and I just stopped it about 2 weeks ago. So methotrexate is a drug that they give you for rheumatoid arthritis.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cancer drug, but they give it to you for rheumatoid arthritis. So
slew of bad side effects, right?
a slew, yes. And over the years, I've been on countless doses in IVs of steroids, prednisone, steroids, and therefore, I always say, therefore, the weight gain.
Yeah.
You know, because when you're on steroids, I always tell people, you feel like you could eat the wallpaper off the wall all the time. I mean, you wake up
So
hungry.
she cracks us up all the time. You're hungry all the time.
I mean, you're just hungry all the time.
Yeah.
You are, and so there, you know, last summer from April, I had issues with my back and my hips before I moved up here to Indiana. I was in Georgia, so they put me on steroids from then until November, when I could get in to see the orthopedic that did my back surgery. I put on 15 pounds
which
And
we've got you to knock off,
and
right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We've lost 15 pounds
I'm-
just in 6 weeks, right?
I'm 17 now.
17.
as of yesterday morning. Yeah. So, am I a happy camper? Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's a journey though, right?
Yeah,
We know it's a journey.
Yeah, it is.
So a couple things I want to address there. One, she's been in the medical system, and I value the medical system. I mean, my son died twice when he was born. They saved him. I'm getting stem cells next week to try and rejuvenate some of the cartilage in my knees so I can still play hockey and basketball and all that stuff. I mean, I really value the technology and things in medicine. But when you're looking at chronic disease, the approach is drugs and surgery, right? And if you understand, I've gone through this a million times. I'm going to shut that off. So, if you look at the other videos, we talk about the body's made up of cells, right? And so if the cell is functioning, you have DNA, mitochondria, you have all these important structures in here, and the nutrients have to go in and the waste goes out. And then you have receptors for your hormones. So if you have toxins or you have a high sugar diet, that's another thing we didn't talk about was insulin resistance, right? And blood pressure problems. I mean, so these are all the things that Gail's dealing with. What happens is this cell membrane becomes inflamed. And listen, you can't take ibuprofen or Tylenol and get the cellular inflammation out.
Right.
So this is due to toxicity. So what did we find on your heavy metals test? And I always say, well, go ahead. What did we find that was really high on your heavy metals test?
Lead.
Lead's really high. And I can tell you every chronic case so far that's been in my office, and we've seen a ton, and this area has high lead. I'm not sure why, but it causes a slew of problems, from mental problems to hormone disruption. I mean, we don't know exactly where it comes from. We know that it gets passed down for 4 generations. So if your grandma had high lead levels, you got a portion of her lead plus whatever you're exposed to. So we knew that we were probably going to see some high lead, maybe some high mercury.
It was elevated some.
Yeah,
Not
that mercury.
terrible bad, but it was.
Yeah, and with mercury, it's really hard because it lodges in the brain tissue. So it's real. We know if it's even in moderate levels, it's probably a lot higher. And that's why when we see mercury levels high, a lot of times it's brain fog. Lead too. So the point is, this is what we address. We address the cell function. We work with the cell membrane. We have detoxifiers, chelators to pull those toxins out of the cell, bind them in the gut, get them out of the body. So, with that said, the other thing that we do is we work with diet. So, sugar and bad fats, like trans fats that you get with deep fried foods and processed foods, also cause this cellular inflammation, and it'll cause diabetes and hormone problems and all kinds of stuff. So not to go through your whole history, but so we've working on your back with decompression, and then we started doing the detoxification process. And could you tell them what one of the things that it's really hard to get somebody who's insulin resistant into ketosis, and what are your blood sugar levels have been? Well, you cheated yesterday, so they're a little higher. Which, when you're insulin resistant, they do spike up. But before that, what were some of the levels?
100, 108, 111. The ketones have been anywhere from 1.0 to 0.8, 0.6. They've been good. I'm burning fat.
So what I love about this is most of the doctors don't even know what she's talking about.
No, they don't.
And so what she's done is she does our highest level functional medicine program, where she has unlimited access to Aaron and I. So we're talking on a daily basis, right? Yeah. Not on the phone. We do, it's called boxering. So she, sends us a question, and I get in my car and I see that she had a question and I answer it. And so one of the things that does, and she was a Googler, Dr. Google. She'd Google everything. She had all these different supplements she would order. And honestly, most of the time they're trash if you understand that industry. When they get tested by our companies, they like Systemic Formulas, Shane Morris's Systemic Formulas, they don't even have the active ingredients in them. And if they come from China, a lot of them are full of lead, which is a...
I boxed with you guys last week one day because I was so upset about the lead being so high. did, I told Erin, I said, somebody said something to me about cups, about dishes.
Oh yeah, she's brought some.
Coffee mugs, turn the mug over, look where it was made.
Yeah.
If it's made in China, they glaze and paint and everything has lead in it. So I've switched, I have 2 Corel cups.
Yeah.
Those are glass. Glass is good. And it's made in New York State.
Yeah.
Excuse me for whatever.
Yeah.
But so I thought, if I'm drinking 3 cups of coffee a day or tea or whatever, then lead leaches into that hot coffee.
So this is interesting. I had never read that until you said that, and so Erin, it changed. We were actually in the process of buying new dishes, and so it changed. I mean, it's an ongoing journey. Like you're learning more and more things. So
yeah.
So let's speak to like the blood pressure. Where your blood pressure's always been sky high.
Always.
Always. Where has it been?
Oh, it's wonderful. I mean, I think I need to call the doctor and lower the medicine or take me off.
Yeah, we talked about
because
that.
Because I haven't done it yet.
Oh, okay.
It's been like 112, 115, 120 over, nothing above 75. Most of it's been 72.
Perfect.
74.
Yeah.
It's not been like this.
And she's been medicated and always struggled with
always.
it. Yeah, I mean, the medicine didn't bring it into
There was points where I've been
alcohol.
on 2 medications, 2 blood pressure meds. But I'm like, okay, I can't believe it.
And then thyroid. So we were 5 weeks in, and all of a sudden she couldn't sleep through the night. Right?
Yeah.
You were waking up. She's like, I don't feel bad. I just can't sleep. And I said, well, so we checked your thyroid levels.
Yes.
And they were high, and so they reduced your medicine by like 40% or something, right?
My doctor said,
I don't have her notes in front of me, so I
said,
just going by memory.
it was 112 mcgs.
Yeah.
And it dropped to, she dropped it down to 88 mcgs. So.
Yeah, so, and we're, really in the beginning stages of this whole process. If I look at some of the other things, so, one of Gail's goals was to be able to do things on her own, but speak to like your energy levels. Like even, so you're on thyroid meds and your blood levels are looking good, but what was your energy like?
You mean now or before?
Then, before.
Before. I didn't have any energy.
Yeah.
I mean, really, between the pain in my back and just everywhere, hurting everywhere, I watched a lot of TV and read a lot of books.
Yeah.
And I'd get up and fix myself something to eat, take care of my little dog, and I'm back in the recliner.
Yeah.
And so lately I have steps that go down my deck. There's 8 steps. I'm doing those 8 steps 6 to 7 times up and down, twice a day.
She has so much. She's so busy that she's razzing us for like we screwed your appointments up. And she's like, "Listen, I got a lot of things to do." So, but that
I did.
So she's starting to cram things into her day, which I think is awesome because you have the energy to do it.
I can do things, and I'm not using a cart when I go into Walmart to ride. I'm walking through the store. I mean, I haven't done that in years, just literally years. So.
Yeah. So a couple things. So, like clearly this has been a great journey for you, and we have a long way to go. I mean, we're dealing with 4 different forms of autoimmunity, blood pressure, pre-diabetic, or right on the borderline there. We want to get that insulin, but obviously her body's responding, and she's never had an approach like that looked at like changing the cell function. Everything's been meds, right? Outside in, change, and then you have side effects from it, and then on 2 different antidepressants. We didn't bring that up.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, things are really looking good.
Yes.
So, so what goals wise, where would you like to see yourself? I mean, what are some of the goals? We just taught you.
I said something to you earlier. I'd like to be able to walk with the crowd instead of being 20 steps back. I'd like to be able to. I know that sounds strange, but I get tired of being the one that's lagging behind, or if it's my family, they'll say, "We gotta wait on Aunt Gail." I mean, you know, I used to have to sit in the kitchen on a stool to cook because I couldn't stand that long.
Yeah.
Those are like everyday things. I used to use a shower chair to take a shower, and I don't do that anymore. I just stand like everybody else does to take a shower.
Yeah.
You know, I look forward to working in my yard. I live on the lake, so look out, here comes a pontoon.
So, I mean, we have an understanding that I really don't know at this point what your potential is, but it looks like it's pretty good based on how you're responding already. And you know, the other thing is, it's like, who would ever take this case on, right? The reason we're comfortable with taking a case on with all of those things is because it all comes back to the cell.
Yes.
Right?
I didn't know that before.
Most people don't, most doctors don't.
No, and I didn't understand that inflammation is embedded in each cell. I didn't, and what affects each cell.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. So it makes sense. I mean, talk about going further upstream. So you can have tests that look great, but you still feel terrible and you can't function. So, you know, our approach is address the cell function through changing your diet. It's a multi-therapeutic approach. Changing your diet, chiropractic, getting the toxins out with chelation, using binders, you know, all the different things that we do. And, you know, the other thing is we want to make Gail an expert, which when she's talking about her ketones and her blood sugar, I mean, this is like, you know, seriously, most doctors don't know that, but you already know it.
Yeah.
So, you know, she's got the tools, you know, the skill set, the tools and the skill sets that you can do this on her own, and that's our model.
That's
we
important.
coach so that you can do it on your own.
Yeah. Cool.
So, that's your health nibble for the day.